Hello from Seoul. So many people think making Asian food at home is daunting. No, you could not be more wrong. If you have some right ingredients and a little bit of technique, that's a piece of cake. I guarantee it. Alright, are you guys ready? Let's get started. Today, we're gonna be making Mongolian beef, one of the best beef dishes of all time. But let's make it with some ground beef to make it cheaper and faster. Since it's incredibly easy and delicious, you might need to delete the word takeout in your dictionary. For this, you will need ground beef, green onions, garlic, ginger, and some dried chilies. That's it! As you can see, it doesn't require a lot of ingredients, so I think you feel like you met your soulmate. Don't you? For information, I've got some Vietnamese dried chilies for some extra kick, but if you don't have it, just skip it. No problem at all. Alright, let's start off with our vegetables. First, cut some green onions into long strips. About 2 inches would be perfect. Normally, in restaurants, they only use green parts of the green onions, but we're also gonna use these white parts to infuse our oil. So make sure you thinly slice them and set them aside. Trust me, these bad boys will take it to the next level. And if you look at the green parts, some of them are hollow in the middle, so the cooking time might be a little different, so let's keep them separately, like this. I know it looks kind of a hassle, but this little detail will give you a better result. Next, garlic. Smash 5 cloves of garlic and finely chop them. What? You still don't know why you should smash it? So you're just gonna grate it? Oh my god. What do you think is the biggest reason that Claire married me? Of course this is not, but it would definitely affect the taste of your dish. So please follow my lead, you won't regret it. This time, grate a small knob of ginger. We're gonna need about 2.5 teaspoons. Here, some of you might ask, Aaron, why do you use a grater instead of just chopping it with a knife? Good question. If Claire bites into that chunky ginger, I might get killed. So this is kind of my flak jacket. Know your enemy, then you will survive. Now let's make the sauce. In a small container, add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder, half a teaspoon of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of corn syrup, 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine, and a few shakes of black pepper. Keep adding 5 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and give it a good mix. I know it looks quite complicated, but once you keep this ratio, you're gonna get the simplest but the most delicious Mongolian beef that you ever had. I guarantee it. Here, some of you might ask, Aaron, I don't have Shaoxing wine. What should I do? Don't worry about it. Instead of Chinese cooking wine, you can replace it with mirin or other cooking wines. What? You don't have any of them? That's okay. Then just add 2 tablespoons of water. Still gonna be good. Alright, we're set. Let's get cooking. In a wok or pan, add 1 tablespoon of oil and heat it over medium-high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, add 500 grams of ground beef and saute for 7 to 8 minutes. Make sure you break up the beef into little pieces and give it enough time to cook through. Today, I'm using ground beef because it's called Mongolian beef. But you could also use pork or chicken. No problem at all. That's just gonna be a Mongolian pork or Mongolian chicken. So just use what you have. Our beautiful sauce will take care of everything. Once the beef gets a little bit of color and most of the fat has rendered out, remove from the wok and set it aside. Now to the same pan, add 2 tablespoons of oil and place it over medium heat. Add the white parts of the green onions, garlic, ginger, and give it a good stir for about 1 minute. Here, we need to make a beautiful aromatic oil, so make sure to keep stirring it and let all the flavors infuse. Once that's done, throw in some thicker parts of the green onions, dried chilies, and stir them around for another 30 seconds. Here, if you want to make it more fancy or nutritious, you could also add some sliced bell peppers or button mushrooms. If you do, trust me, your date night dinner will be successful. Once your kitchen is filled with the beautiful aroma, pour in the sauce and simmer for about 1 minute. Here, some of you might ask, Aaron, why didn't you add the sauce right into the beef? I don't want to make more dishes to wash. I'm so glad you brought that up. This extra cooking step will maximize all the flavors from garlic, ginger, and green onions. Trust me, that will make a huge difference in taste. Once you try it, you will understand what I'm talking about. Alright, once the sauce thickens up a little bit, add the beef back in and give it a good stir for about 1 minute. Once everything is nice and coated and glossy, turn the heat off. And add the remaining green onions, half a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, and give it a final mix. Yes, that's right, we're just gonna let them cook in the residual heat. If you add them earlier, this poor little thing will become a mushy, and that's not gonna be pretty at all. Congratulations! Now you know the secret of how to get the beautiful Mongolian beef. You're welcome. Alright, time to assemble. Let's put some rice into a bowl and add a generous amount of our Mongolian beef. And then this is completely optional, but if you want to make it look a little bit more beautiful, add some sliced chili on top. See? It's absolutely more gorgeous, right? Alright, let's call our taste tester.
Claire?
I can see that iconic green onions on top. Let's give it a go. 냄새가 너무 기가 막히다. You need to get a little bit more green onion and chili pepper. Cheers. 맛있네. 기본적으로 일단 소스가 진짜 너무 맛있네. 거기에 생강이랑 마늘이랑 뭔가 잔뜩 들어간 게 그냥 딱 먹자마자 알겠어. 향이 그냥 속에서 미쳤어. 그냥 소스 자체가 너무 맛있네. 밥이랑 그냥 찰떡궁합이야. 왜 이렇게 서빙하는지 알 것 같아. 한 입 딱. 이 소스가 그냥 단순히 그 간장 향이 아니라 고기에서 오는 그 지방이 살짝 다 녹아져 있는 그런 느낌? 그래서 되게 묵직하고 진해. 그래서 맛있어. 그래서 딱 먹는 순간 진짜 와, 이거 진짜 우마미 밤이다. 감칠맛 폭탄이다. 그런 느낌을 싹 받을 수 있어. 왜 위에 큼직큼직한 건고추가 5개나 있어가지고 좀 매운 거 아닌가? 약간 그렇게 생각을 했었거든? 근데 전혀 그렇지 않고 내 생각에는 약간 소고기 지방에서 올 수 있는 그 약간의 그 느끼함을 걔네가 딱 잘 잡아주는 정도? 그래서 매운 거 못 먹는 사람도 그냥 레시피대로 그냥 5개 다 넣어도 괜찮을 것 같아. 충분히. 단 내가 가지고 있는 그 건고추가 엄청 매운 거 아니라면 You'll be alright. Don't worry about it. But I don't usually eat the dried chili itself. Leave it out. 아까 그린 어니언 되게 많다 그랬는데 막상 먹다 보니까 좀 모자르다. 더 넣어도 될 것 같다. So be super generous with this. More green onion. More delicious. Did I sound like Aaron?
Hello from Seoul. There are so many great fried rice in the world. But if you are looking for the easiest and simplest fried rice that everyone can make, this is it. This is the way to go. Alright, are you guys ready? Let's get started. Today, we're gonna be making Japanese fried rice, one of the simplest, easiest, and most delicious fried rice of all time. What? You wanna know how simple that is? Well, even though you had a long day of work and you're exhausted, you're not gonna look at takeout menus. For this, you will need some rice, green onion, egg, and ham. That's it. So simple, right? There's no reason to pay $10 for that greasy takeout fried rice. First, let's talk about our rice. For Japanese style fried rice, we need this kind of short grain rice. And for today's recipe, I cooked the rice in advance and kept it in the fridge overnight because this way, the rice gets a little bit more dry and much easier to stir fry. But this is not necessary. You can just use some leftover rice from a takeout restaurant, or when you make dinner, you can make a big batch of rice and save some for later. Yeah, that's what I do when the camera is off. Alright, enough talking. Let's prep our ingredients. First, thinly slice some green onions. Today, you don't have to separate the whites and greens because we're not gonna make green onion oil. Since it's a very small amount, if we make green onion oil first, they can burn quite easily while stir frying. And that is not gonna be pretty at the end. What? You don't care? You just wanna make it delicious? Then you can make green onion oil. As always, I do admire your love for green onions. Next, in a container, crack 4 eggs and beat them up with a pinch of salt. For fried rice, 1 egg for 1 portion, that's like an absolute rule or something. But let me use 4 eggs today because of my hungry bird at home. You know what? If there's not enough protein in it, I might have to sleep on the couch tonight. I recently have been having back pain, so I don't want that to happen. And then get yourself 80 grams of ham and cut that into small bite-sized pieces. I'm using ham for my protein, but if it's not your thing, you can use any protein you like. Pork, chicken, beef, everything will be fantastic. So follow your heart. This time, let's crumble our cooked rice. If you're a pro, honestly, you don't have to do this. You can just break the rice in a wok. But it's quite hard to coat every single grain in a very short time while stir frying. So for your inner peace, let's do this in advance. Alright, everything is ready to go. Let's get cooking. In a wok or pan, add 2 tablespoons of oil and heat it over high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, add your beaten eggs and just let it sit for about 30 seconds. Once they are 70% cooked, add 2 cups of day-old rice, ham, half a teaspoon of salt, a few shakes of black pepper, and stir fry for about 3 minutes. Here, you're not making mashed potatoes, just gently toss it around. That's it. If you don't take my advice and press it down too hard, you're gonna get that mushy fried rice at the end. What? Still clumped together? Then add half a tablespoon of sake here. That small amount of sake will not only help our rice separate, it will also bring us the pleasant savoriness or umami. And then add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce around the edges and give it a few seconds to caramelize. Trust me, this simple technique will give you the smoky umami flavor that you're looking for. After 20 seconds, stir fry everything together for about 1 minute. That's it, couldn't be any easier, right? Now grab a spoon and give it a quick taste, and add more salt or soy sauce if it's needed. But if you add too much soy sauce, it can become very dark, so I recommend using salt for this Japanese fried rice. Alright, once everything looks nice and well coated, turn the heat off and add our love, green onions. And then last but not least, add 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil and give it a final mix. Super easy, right? Alright, let's start plating. Of course, you could just pour it on the plate. But if you wanna make it look more pretty and wanna feel that authentic Japanese vibe, put some fried rice into a bowl and press it down a little bit. And then put your serving plate on top and flip. See? It's more beautiful, right? Now for a prettier presentation, I'm gonna add some sliced cucumber, Japanese pickled ginger, and sprinkle on a little bit of green onions. Alright, it's done. Let's call our taste tester.
Claire?
집에서 아주 맛있는 냄새가 진동을 하는구만. 촬영이라고 또 플레이팅에 신경을 아주 많이 썼구만. It's not as usual. Let's give it a try. Let's dig in. 간단한 음식인 만큼 내가 아주 엄격하게 평가를 해보겠다. Cheers! 맛있네. 되게 기본적인 볶음밥인데 되게 맛있네. 간이 짭조름하니 내 입맛에 딱 맛있어. 이 슈그레인 라이스로 했었을 때 약간 이렇게 덩어리지기가 되게 쉽잖아. 근데 이렇게 입안에서 씹어줬을 때 밥알이 하나하나 다 느껴져. 겉에가 이렇게 뭔가가 코팅이 잘 된 그런 느낌? 그렇다고 해서 또 막 건조하지 않고 속은 되게 촉촉하다? 그래서 맛있네. 잘했네. 햄이고 계란이고 잔뜩 넣어줘서 입에 들어갔었을 때 심심함 없이 되게 맛있는 것 같아. 나는 그 밥만 잔뜩 있고 속재료 별로 안 들어가 있는 그런 볶음밥은 별로 안 좋아하거든. 이게 진짜 볶음밥이지. 이런 식으로 만들어야지. 원래 나 같은 경우에는 햄보다는 베이컨을, 그리고 약간 이렇게 스크램블된 계란보다는 큰 계란 후라이에 하나 통째로 들어간 프라이드 에그 온 탑 그런 거 있잖아. 그걸 더 선호하는데 오늘 거는 내가 좋아하는 것에 다 반대로 들어갔어. 근데 맛있네. 그 말은 맛있다는 뜻이야. So good. Just like French toast is a good way to use your stale bread or hard bread, fried rice is a good way to use your leftover rice. So how about making this fried rice this weekend? It'll be fantastic. 맛에 있어서는 딱히 컴플레인 할 건 없는 것 같아. 근데 그냥 이거 하나만 먹기엔 뭔가 나한테 부족하다. 같이 먹을 수 있는 돈카츠나 뭐 치킨 데리야끼 그런 거 없어? Bring some. Whatever you.
Everybody loves rice bowls, so I had to bring this one because I don't want you to miss out on the easiest and the most comforting Japanese rice bowls of all time. And for information, it won't take more than 15 minutes. Today, we're gonna be making soborodon, one of the most delicious Japanese rice bowls. Since it's loaded with lots of chicken, eggs, and rice, it's such a full balanced meal. And not only that, when you have no idea what you're gonna have for dinner, it's the perfect dish that you can make it in just 15 minutes. So please give this a try. Takeout or delivery, this will be faster. For this, you will need some chicken, egg, green onion, garlic, ginger, and a bowl of hot rice. So simple, right? Today, for my protein, I'm using chicken breast. But if you prefer chicken thigh, go ahead and use that. No problem at all. And besides the chicken, you could also use beef, pork, or tofu. So just use what you have. Everything will be fantastic. First, finely mince 200 grams of chicken breast. Here, some of you might say, Aaron, how come this is a 15-minute recipe? You even need to mince the chicken. Yes, you're right. So please get yourself some ground chicken from the supermarket. Honestly, that was my plan too, but it was sold out again. Why? Why do these things always happen to me? But don't worry about it. I can make it in 15 minutes. Next, thinly slice some green onions. The whites are gonna be used for our chicken marinade and the greens are gonna be used for garnish. So please keep them separately, like this. Once that's done, smash 2 cloves of garlic and finely chop them. And then grate a small knob of ginger. We're gonna need about half a teaspoon. I know it's a very small amount, but trust me. This teeny tiny amount of freshly grated ginger will bring it to the next level. Alright, let's marinate our chicken. In a mixing bowl, add your minced chicken, white parts of the green onions, garlic, and ginger. Keep adding 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, half a tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 1 tablespoon of sake, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, a few shakes of black pepper, and give it a good mix. Since we're using the minced chicken, we don't even need to wait for a long time. We can just cook it right away. That's pretty good news, right? There's no reason not to try this. Now crack 4 eggs into a container and beat them all together. But don't forget to season with some salt and pepper, just like I did. Once it's well mixed, it's ready to go. Let's get cooking. Place a pan over medium heat and add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Once the butter is melted, add in your eggs and scramble. Here, some of you might say, Aaron, isn't it better to cook the chicken first? I think it can lose its fluffy texture after it's cooked. Good point. But if we cook the meat first, we need to take out another pan because of the marinade. Listen, if I make more dirty dishes to wash, I can be in danger by my hungry bird at home. Sorry, my friend, I have one life to live. Here, you can totally cook your eggs to your desired doneness. But since soboro means small crumbly pieces in Japanese, I'm gonna cook a little bit longer to make small little pieces. Alright, it's been about 2 minutes. Let's remove it from the pan and set it aside. Now in the same pan, add 1 tablespoon of oil and heat it over high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, add the marinated chicken and cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. We want to make sure that most of the liquid has evaporated because if there's too much liquid in the pan, that can cause our chicken to steam instead of fry. So please keep tossing it around until it gets crumbly. Once the chicken is cooked through and nicely browned, remove it from the pan and set it aside. Finally, it's time to assemble. Let's put some rice into a bowl and then add some chicken to one side and some scrambled eggs on the other side. But before you do that, I want you to break it down a little bit because as it cools down, they kind of stick together. Remember, the beauty of this dish is these little pieces of each ingredient. That's the point. It looks good already, but if you add some green onions between those, trust me, it will look even more fantastic. A lot of soborodon recipes use green peas, but who do you think I am? We should definitely go with our love, green onion, right? Right? It's basically done now, but if you wanna make it a little bit more creamy and flavorful, get yourself some egg yolk and place it on top. How does it look? Looks amazing, right? But if you can't trust how fresh that is, you can totally skip this. Remember, I can pay your hospital bill. Alright, it's done. Let's go to our taste tester.
Claire?
오, 색감이 그냥 너무 예쁘다. 여기 가운데 이렇게 노른자가 있는 게 누군가가 그 잔디밭을 막 뛰어다니다가 계란 하나를 실수로 턱 하고 떨어뜨린 그런 느낌이야. 너무 귀엽고 재밌다. Is it just me? Anyways, it smells wonderful. Let's give it a try. 일단은 노른자를 이렇게 안 올려서 먹을 사람들도 있을 테니까 노른자 없이 먹어보겠다. 이거 젓갈질 잘하는 나도 힘들다. 에이, 다 흘리네. 하나 떨어뜨리고 하나 올렸어. Anyways, I got some. Let's give it a try. Cheers! 일단 와 닭고기 장난 아니네. 와 근데 진짜 이거 닭가슴살로 한 거 맞아? 아무도 그렇게 생각 안 할 것 같아. 닭가슴살로 조리를 했는데도 엄청 촉촉하고 부드러워가지고 닭가슴살 싫어하는 사람들도 이렇게 해도 괜찮을 것 같아. 진짜 촉촉하니 너무 맛있다. 그리고 메리네이드가 오 예술이야. 약간 간장 향도 나는데 생강의 향이 진짜 향긋하게 너무 맛있게 잘 뱄어. 맛있다. 오 짭조름하니 되게 맛있어. 이번엔 계란 위주로 많이 퍼보겠어. 올려. Again, one more bite. 맛있네. 오버쿡 된 건 아닌가 약간 걱정했었는데 전혀. 진짜 촉촉하고 버터 때문인지 되게 리치하면서 여전히 촉촉해. 그리고 역시 파는 많이 넣어주는 게 맞는 것 같아. 같이 먹었을 때 입에서 팍팍팍 터져주는 그 느낌이 너무 좋아. 맛있다. 이제 finally, let's try with the egg yolk. It's gonna be a good sauce for this rice ball. 오, 조금 섞어서 먹어봐야겠다. 이거 맛있겠다 여기. 그치? 잘했지. 맛있게. 너무 많이 흘렸어. Cheers! 예상한 것처럼 훨씬 부드러워지고 촉촉해졌어. 맛있네. 하지만 그래도 이게 너무 싫다라는 사람은 포치드에 그 해가지고 올려서 싹 먹으면 맛있을 것 같아. 괜찮을 것 같아. 괜찮네. 맛있다. 나 이거 일본 사람들이 도시락으로 많이 싸는 거 봤거든. 왜 그런지 알겠다. 좀 시간이 지나서 좀 식었는데도 여전히 맛있어. 여전히 촉촉하고 맛있어. So, highly recommend for your lunchbox. Enjoy!
Hello from Seoul. Pad Thai, good. Tom Yum soup, nice. But you can't talk about Thai food without this bad boy. Today, we're gonna be making pad kaprao, Thai basil stir fry. Now, some of you might say, Aaron, making Thai food at home sounds complicated. Are you sure we can make it in under 15 minutes? Don't worry about it. If you follow my lead, you will make one of the easiest and most delicious stir fries that you ever had. I guarantee it. For this, you will need some red Thai chilies, garlic, shallot, red and green chilies, ground beef, and some fresh basil leaves. That's it. So simple, right? What? You can't get these Thai chilies? That's okay. Then just use any spicy chilies from your supermarket. Don't worry about it. Just because you use other types of chilies, the universe is not gonna be destroyed. So just use what you have. That's the best. But some of you still might be thinking, Aaron, are you really gonna add more chilies? We've already got some Thai chilies. Are you trying to kill us? Whoa. Take it easy, my friend. These are not spicy at all. They're just gonna add beautiful colors to your dish. So please make sure to get some chilies with no heat or bad peppers. So if you have a code brown situation while driving because you didn't take my advice, I'm not responsible. Alright, put 7 cloves of garlic into a mortar and pestle and break them down a little bit. Once that's done, add 3 Thai chilies, 1 shallot, and keep grinding and get them into a rough paste. So simple, right? But while you're doing this, try not to look at it like how's everything going, because all the juices from spicy chilies can go straight into your eyes. What a disaster. I told you, so if that happens, I'm not responsible. What? No mortar and pestle? That's okay. You can just use a knife or food processor. No problem at all. But if you want to impress your girlfriend or if you're trying to be legit, this is unnecessary. And lastly, thinly slice some mild chilies. As I told you earlier, these bad boys will add a nice pop of color and make it more beautiful. This time, let's make the sauce. In a small container, add 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of black soy sauce or dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, and give it a good mix. That's it, couldn't be any easier. But if you want to upgrade your sauce, instead of just regular soy sauce, use a mix of soy sauce and this Gold Mountain sauce. Trust me, that will make you feel like you're in Thailand. Before you start cooking, let's talk about the basils. Actually, we're supposed to use holy basil to make it more authentic. But you know what? It was not easy to get them here in Korea. So I'm just gonna use some regular basil. Of course you could use some Thai basil too, but for my taste, this tastes better, and most importantly, they're so much easier to access. So I'm gonna use this bad boy today. Alright, it's cooking time. In a wok or pan, add 2 tablespoons of oil and heat it over high heat. Once it's heated, add 450 grams of ground beef. And then spread it out and just leave it in the pan for about 2 minutes. Once the beef is nicely browned at the bottom, flip and stir fry it for about 3 minutes. Here, we want to render out the fat and evaporate the liquid as much as possible. So make sure you give it a good stir and keep tossing it around. When the beef is cooked, add your chili garlic paste and stir fry for about 1 to 2 minutes over medium-high heat. When the fat from the beef meets our chili garlic paste, that will create an amazing flavor and fragrance in your dish. So if your beef is too lean so you couldn't get enough fat like mine, please add some more oil and let all the flavors infuse. That's the key. Alright, once you can smell the amazing aroma, pour the sauce you made and give it a good stir for about 1 minute. And then grab a spoon, give it a quick taste, and add more salt or fish sauce if it's needed. But mine is perfect. Alright, let's turn the heat off and add 1.5 cups of fresh basil leaves, mild chilies, a few shakes of black pepper, and give it a final mix. That's it. So simple, right? For information, you could just serve it with some rice, and I'm sure it will taste great. But serving this dish with no fried egg on top, that's a crime. So let's go ahead and make them real quick. Add a generous amount of oil to a pan and heat it over medium-high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, but not necessarily super hot, add your egg and tilt the pan so that the egg can kind of like fry in it. What? You worry about the oil splatter and don't want to make your mom angry? Then just carefully pour the hot oil with a spoon. That can be a good option. Alright, finally, it's time to assemble. Let's put some rice on a plate and add a generous amount of beef stir fry. And last but not least, top it up with our beautiful crispy fried egg. That's it. So simple, right? But if you want to make it more authentic, make a little condiment and serve it on the side. In a small bowl, add 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, thinly sliced chili, a pinch of sugar, the juice from half a lime, and give it a good stir. Trust me, this will take it to the next level. Alright, it's done. Let's go to our taste tester.
Claire.
와, 알록달록 화려한 게 태국 음식답다. 너무 이쁜 거 아니야? Whenever I visit a Thai restaurant, I always order pad Thai because I knew nothing about Thai food. So one day, like as usual, I ordered pad Thai and Aaron ordered something that I didn't know. And I tasted his dish as always. Oh my god, that was amazing. So I asked Aaron, can we change our dish? Yes, it was that good and that was this dish. So I'm super excited. Let's give it a try. 향부터 태국에 여행 간 느낌이구만. 기대된다. 계란도 이렇게 느낌을 살려서 가장자리 바삭바삭하게 해줬다고? 와, 너무 이쁜데 건드릴 수가 없다. 이거 진짜 어떡하면 좋아. 계란을 살짝 치우고 주인공부터. 우후후. I need more topping. More meat. Cheers. 맛있다. 일단 향이 진짜 미쳤어. 향긋한 바질향이 고기 전반에 샥 녹아가지고 너무 맛있는데 거기다가 마늘도 들어갔지, 고추도 들어갔지. 그러니까 정말 향긋하니 그냥 이 자체가 너무 향긋하니 너무 맛있네. 그리고 고추도 좀 많이 들어간 게 그게 좀 마음에 드는 것 같아. 그 매콤한 맛이 킥 역할을 해가지고 고기의 그 지방 부분에 느끼할 수 있는 그 부분을 잘 잡아주는 것 같아. 거기에 액젓 향도 되게 강하게 나서 그 특유의 태국 음식만의 그런 느낌을 딱 제대로 받을 수가 있어. 맛있다. It's full of umami. So good. 이번에는 이 테이블 소스를 살짝 뿌려가지고 먹어보겠어. 쭈루룩 쭉. 부셔볼게요. Look at this egg yolk. It's like a beautiful sauce. I love it. I've got lots of rice, beef, and fried egg. Let's give it a try. 와, 정말 내가 말한 것처럼 계란 노른자가 소스 역할을 제대로 해서 전체를 잘 코팅을 해주면서 촉촉하게 고기도 더 촉촉하게 만들어주고 가장자리 그거 너무 예쁘다고 했잖아. 그 크리스피한 그 부분이 입안에서 이렇게 딱 느껴지는 게 식감이 대조가 되면서 너무너무 맛있어. 거기다 달콤한 이 소스가 맛을 또 확 한층 끌어올려주는 것 같아. So please do not skip it. This one will take it to the next level. Highly recommended. 아 그리고 나는 바질 향이 너무 좋아서 이것도 좋지만 더 넣어도 될 것 같아 나한테는. 그린 어니언처럼 팍팍 넣으라고.